talks about New Age spirituality, and he mentions that it can be very damaging because what a person will do in New Age spirituality is learn that emotions themselves have like certain vibrational frequencies that are good or bad. So now we're assigning moral value to emotions in and of themselves. The person will start to not show certain emotions and show others. So instead of dealing with them, they suppress them because I need to demonstrate love all the time so that I can give that out to the universe and then the universe can give back to me. I can't demonstrate anger because that's the opposite of love and that's terrible. They can't express themselves. And so this even starts to, they'll start to create a false version of themselves. Now you have to ask yourself, well, can I even share my emotions with other people? What am I supposed to do when my dad passes away? Grief is full of all these negative emotions. You can't do that.
So, one of the things that I like to talk about is the constructs that have been built, around those areas of like emotions and thought. The thing that's so important I have to remind people is from the Christian perspective is saying, okay, let's look at this objective worldview that talks about the creator who creates thoughts and emotions and everything. And when we get into, like you said, new age, and the person just says, I gotta put this love out in the world, or I gotta suppress certain emotions because that's painful. The reality is, like you said, from the Christian perspective, you begin to understand there is that righteous anger when we're dealing with things like justice and fairness and so forth. There is dealing with grief. There's times where it says to grieve for those who have lost, literally mourn with them. Jesus wept himself, and people's like, look how they recognize here's someone in reality that loved that person that had died when you read that particular part of the biblical text. But the thing that we have to work with those individuals that have been told just in that scenario, how has that affected you to where you can build relationships? How has that affected you to where you can complete daily goals? How has that affected you to a point where looking at your self actualization and going, who am I as an individual? Because sometimes that stuff has been so ingrained with them in like that on you. You're peeling, you'll find those spots that may be just riding spots, just gotten so deep in there. Sometimes we have to do certain, psychodynamic techniques to try to go back as far as we can to have that to find out, okay, where are the areas where this was pretty much downloaded into this person's brain as this is how the world operates.